Welcome to Getting Old Ain't for Sissies podcast with your host, an aging hipster himself, a top 40 radio legend with 45 years of being on the air, maybe in your town. Now, here's Big Tomm Rivers.
Thank you, Ron. I really appreciate that. Ron Parker, ladies and gentlemen, from WLS-FM in Chicago. Ron's a great guy. Worked with him in Atlanta for years and years at WQXI-AM. What a great town Atlanta is. Anybody in Atlanta listening right now? That's nice. Thank you very much. Hey, you found me. That's right. It's me, Tomm Rivers, and this is my first podcast of Getting Old Ain't for Sissies. I want to thank my old buddy, Bob Shane, the only original member of the Kingston Trio, still with us at 84 years old, for that title. He's the one who gave it to me. He said, "Tomm, getting old ain't for sissies." And I said, "Bob, thanks a lot, and love the voice." He's the guy that sang Scotch and Soda, had the lead vocal on Tom Dooley. Remember Bob? Bob Shane, thanks a lot. Getting old ain't for sissies. It's true, you know. We are simple human beings, and we keep lying to ourselves. We do it for years, and if we're lucky, we stay alive. Me, I'm in so-so health. I'm built like a not even cardboard, like a tissue paper brick house. That's true. And maybe if I'm lucky, I'll live to be 80, 84 years old, just like Bob, maybe longer. And then the old system starts to show signs of wear and tear like an old car. The mileage piles up, years of abuse. Whether it's too much food, you should see all the fatties here in San Antonio. Woo! And it's not me just saying that, being some kind of nasty man. It's true. San Antonio has a very high obesity rate. Too much drink, too much smoke, too much fun. And I had way too much fun in my younger years, if you catch my drift there, Sacco. So beware of what you do in your younger years. It's bound to catch up to you, and you only have one body, so take care of it. If you don't, you are SOL, my friend, and if you've been around the same block or so that I have, you know what SOL means, all right? Also, this show, Getting Old Ain't for Sissies, will help both you and I to age with a smile, a laugh, and a twinkle in the old eye. Not all, my friend, is doom and gloom. You ridiculous couch potato, you. No wonder you've got such a big rear end. Get off the couch. We'll eventually have some features on what to do with yourself. Besides playing with yourself, that has a different connotation. You could be playing solitaire, for all I know. Besides playing bingo in the home, or how to save money, how to be your own health detective. We'll have some updates on Social Security. We'll keep an eye on that for you. We'll have some weird news items. And I promise no political jokes. Really. The worst thing about political jokes is they usually get elected. Of course, with the exception of our current president. He's doing a pretty good job. That, of course, is my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. It's my show. Here's the basics of what to expect from Getting Old Ain't for Sissies, my show. We're going to do this thing twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursday evenings, right around 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, with a podcast, give or take a few minutes here or there. We had some problems this past Tuesday with technical stuff. Here's where you're going to be able to find me. Tomm Rivers and Getting Old Ain't for Sissies. Spreaker, Tumblr, Stitcher, Facebook in about a week or so. iTunes, same thing, in about a week, 10 days. Google Play in about a week or 10 days because they have to approve the content. Yes, you have to build up some episodic episodes. Is that grammatically correct? Episodic episodes? You have to build up a certain number of episodes. They are special, aren't they? And then we'll add more platforms as time passes, but that depends. And some of you probably listening where depends. But it depends on you folks. Maybe even those iHeart people may even join. I hope you have a good sense of humor, though. You're going to need it if you're going to hang with me on this podcast. 45 years and counting, maybe even a little more. I've been in top 40 radio, and I do have a weird sense of humor. Sardonic, sarcastic sometimes. And some of my radio pals are still alive, thank God. They're upright, alive, and breathing, and I know they're listening. And they're probably wondering right now, when's old Tomm going to do something different, wacky, maybe even stupid? Well, let's just get it over with right now. Microphone works. Okay, that's enough. Getting Old Ain't for Sissies. The show will only be about 10 to 20 minutes long. It's going to be shortened to the point. It'll be a little longer, depending on our guest lineup. Yes, we're going to add some guests. We talked about that the other night with my good friend who lives in beautiful Napa Valley. The guy's a musical genius and just a sweetheart of a man, Chuck Klein. Chuck had some great ideas and names he threw out to me for guests on the show, so it should be a lot of fun as weeks go by. We're going to have some medical folks on to talk about what seniors are going through, showbiz folks, old dried-up radio folks you may have heard of, where you live. My family? No, I don't think we're going to have those. No. They know too much about me. There's too much dirt they've got on me. So I don't think I'll have family members on. Maybe my daughter, because she's a sweetheart. And we'll have some contests as we go along, as the weeks pass, because I've got so much stuff accumulated from my years in radio that cheap, worthless prizes really do mean a lot to people who listen to podcasts and radio. Okay, getting into what I cherry-picked some stuff for the first show. Do you have bags under your eyes? Do you have dark spots under your eyes? Why go to a doctor, my friends, when, yes, Tomm Rivers and Getting Old Ain't for Sissies is here to help now. Oh, yes. Try a little hemorrhoid cream for puffy eyes. A lot of people swear by dabbing Preparation H around the eyes to shrink swelling. And while it does work, you should save it for special occasions. Most hemorrhoid creams contain hydrocortisone, which can thin the skin with extended use and take care of those bags and the dark skin. But here's a tip from your old friend Tom. Get yourself a brand new tube. You don't want to use someone else's tube of Preparation H because you don't know where it's been. All right? Collagen does work as an injectable to decrease wrinkles, too. You can rub it into the skin all day long. But here's something you should know. If your doctor says use collagen, there is no science that says it's going to do anything. If your friend says use collagen, no science backing it up. Do you ever see Tom Selleck do a product endorsement for reverse mortgages? Or any celebrity do a product endorsement? Well, there's no way of knowing whether they were paid for their recommendation or not, or whether they actually have any knowledge of that product or not. Okay? Keep that in mind, folks. Keep that in mind. Don't trust what you're seeing or hearing. Do your research, all right? And hold on to your chairs. You've heard of liver transplants, kidney transplants, heart transplants. Well, there's one new one now. It's called a fecal transplant. Donor stool with healthy bacteria is inserted into a patient's colon to alter the flora and treat ailments such as lupus and diabetes. People have poo-pooed this idea for years. But according to researchers, certain conditions, it can change your life almost overnight. I bet it can. It can change your life for sure. In a study of 30 people over the age of 67 with inflamed colons, 29 recovered from this therapy. And we know Oxford University is a university that is very prestigious. Exercise does not slow down mental decline and may even make dementia worse. I swear I'm reading this, it's true. Oxford University found that people with mild to moderate dementia who went to the gym twice a week for up to 90 minutes went downhill faster than those who did not. Researchers at Oxford University say exercise should not be recommended for people with dementia and call the possibility that some types of exercise intervention might worsen the cognitive impairment. That's interesting. And finally, for the first episode of Getting Old Ain't for Sissies, I'm going to leave you with this. 40% of adults aged 65 to 80 are sexually active. Really? And more than half, 54%, say sex is important to the quality of life. Grandma, what's that noise? Oh, it's you two. According to the national poll on healthy aging by the University of Michigan, romantic relationships and sex are important even later in life. 65% of people in this age group describe themselves as still being interested in sex. Well, interest is one thing, doing it is another. I speak for myself. 46%, 65 to 70 years of age, reported being sexually active. Compared to 39% of 71 to 75-year-olds and 25% of 76 to 80-year-olds. Reminds me of that Roseanne episode, the new Roseanne show. I don't know if you caught that or not. A lot of people are watching it. where the grandma comes home and she brings home a